Hi, and welcome to Virtual EMS, the new way to reserve space on campus at the University of Colorado, Colorado Springs. This is a tutorial to help you navigate the system and reserve space on campus. This is the main screen that you'll see when you log onto the website. The website is listed here, ucevents.uccs.edu/virtual-EMS. It will also be linked on our event services website. This main screen just gives you some basic information. Our goal is to have all requests made electronically through this website and moving away from the online reservation form that we currently use. If you need to reserve space or make any changes to your reservation within the next 72 hours, you have to contact our office, the UC Event Services office, and the phone number and email address is listed here. If you have questions about how to reserve this space through this site, you can contact our office as well, or if you run into any technical difficulties, please let us know. And we are really looking forward to working with you on all of your events. So the first step in using virtual EMS is if you're wanting to plan a rather large event, you want to see what else is going on campus, you can use this browse function up here. So if you hover over browse and click on browse events, it will take you to the day that we're currently on, which is September 26th. And it'll show you month view, that's the default view, but you can change that. But as you can see, it lists all the events for each day that we have scheduled in our spaces. So if you're trying to find a day for your event that's a little less busy, this is a good tool to use. So here's the monthly view. You can also switch it to a weekly calendar, to a monthly list, or to a weekly list, and finally a daily list. You can also filter and search for specific events through the filter button that's over here. You can filter by date, by building, by room, and this is set to look at all of the rooms because you don't have a building selected. So if you select a building, let's say Centennial, then you can search by room if you want to see the room. You can look by event type, and we have lots of different event types that you can search by. Or if you know the event name, you can search by that. And then you click apply, and nothing's scheduled in Centennial for today, so nothing's going to come up. But if it did, it would come up in this daily list view. If you need to go back to today, to the default, you click today, or you can click monthly calendar. And that'll show you what's in Centennial. It remembers this filter, so if you want to get out of Centennial and see all, you need to switch back. Okay, so after you decide what day you want to reserve your event, you're going to go to this reservation. You're going to hover over that and click room request. This takes you to the very first page of the room reservation process. So you're going to tell us when and where you want your event. Again, if it's within 72 hours, this system will not allow you to book the space. So I'm going to book for Monday the 30th. If it's a weekly meeting or a monthly meeting, you can click on the recurrence button here and type in your recurrence. So you would tell the time. Is it a daily occurrence, a weekly occurrence, a monthly occurrence, or even is it a random occurrence? So maybe it's at the same time, but it's different days every month. Then you would want to select random, and it would allow you to choose the dates. You can click when you want it to start, how many occurrences, or when you want it to end by. You will also notice that throughout the pages, there are these little question marks. Those are little help links that have certain details or information to help remind you what you need to be filling out in these different sections. So if you have questions, look for those. And if you can think of any other helpful information to be on these question help links, please email our office. So I'm going to select Monday. I'm going to choose a random time from 10 to 11. I'm not going to select a preference for a facility. That just gives you more options. I'm going to select the attendance, so how many people are going to be at my meeting, 15. And I'm going to choose my setup type. This is really important because it helps us decide which space is best for you. So if you need lecture style, there are certain spaces that accommodate lecture style. If you need banquet style with rounds, that's what banquet style means, then you would select banquet, and there's certain rooms that accommodate banquet. So look through these and select the one that best fits your needs. If you are using one of our larger spaces like Burger Hall or the Lodge, you can select C diagram, because for those spaces, we're going to follow up with you and create a diagram for your event. So I'm going to select lecture, and I'm going to hit check availability. Okay, and this will give you the list of rooms that show available on that day, on the 30th from 10 to 11. So I am going to select 116. Now, you're going to select the space, you're going to request it. This may not be the space you end up with based on how we process the reservation, but this tells me that this is your first preference, is to have 116. So you click this little green plus sign over here, or actually it's white with a green background, and you then go up here to details. This is where you're going to enter all the important information that our office needs to process your event. So the first thing you're going to enter is your event name, and that's really important to be specific about so we know exactly what kind of event you're hosting. If everybody just types in meeting, then I'll have 900 meetings and no one will know what they're for. The main thing you need to remember about this system is that you are not the only ones, and we are not the only ones seeing this information. This information gets projected out to our display board. It gets printed on our daily activity schedule. People call the information desk searching for specific meetings. So if your meeting just says meeting, that's not extremely helpful. So I'm going to just put this in as test, but an example would be University Center staff meeting. That would be a great event name. Or if it's a reception, if it's a reception for a specific person or program, putting that detailed information in this section is what we're looking for. And then there's lots of event types that you can select from. Whatever best fits your event you want to select. So I'm going to select training because that's what we're doing. Then you're going to select your customer. So that's either the department you belong to or the club you belong to, or if it's another on-campus organization, you're going to type that in here. So I'm going to type in University Center. Then this first contact section, you're going to type in your name. First and last would be great. And you're also going to type in your phone number. If you're an on-campus person, your extension is just fine. If you're a club or a student, a cell phone number where we can reach you is preferred. And then a good email address, one that you check very often that we can reach you at. Okay. After that section is filled out, you're going to come down here to this other information section. And we need all of these questions answered to help further process your event. So if you're going to have alcohol at your event, you need to click yes or no. If you're interested in having a sustainable event, please let us know. The UC Event Services Office is partnering with sustainability to help promote more sustainable events. So if you click yes to this, someone from sustainability will contact you about your event and how you can make it more sustainable. If it's not applicable, you can click no. Are you serving food? This is important. We meet with catering once a week, so it's helpful for us to double check each other and make sure we know which events are serving food and which aren't. Are you charging for entrance? This means, are you charging for any aspect of your event? Are you charging people to attend? Are you charging vendors to use the space? Are you doing any kind of charge for the space? We need to know that, yes or no. Are you doing any donations or fundraising? This is really important for the clubs. Please check yes or no. Is this an extended studies reservation? If it is, click yes. If it's not, click no. Do you need an AV meet and greet? This is if you need to use any audiovisual equipment in any of our spaces. If so, you're going to click yes. If not, you're going to click no. If you're requesting a classroom space and you have podium keys or have been trained to use the podiums in the classroom spaces, then you can click no and just let us know that you're using the podium. Do you need extra setup time? This is important if you need to come in and do some setup in the room. We will have all of our setup done before you ever arrive to the space. We also build in setup time into every reservation. So this is just if you need to get into the space early to maybe set some centerpieces or put some materials on the tables, whatever the case may be. So if you need that extra time, click yes. If you don't, click no. And then a speed type. If you have a speed type and can enter it here, that's great. If you don't, you can just enter these 9s and it will let you proceed. Okay. The next section is audio-visual equipment. So we selected 116, that's in the University Center. So I can expand this list and see all the audio-visual equipment available in the University Center. Don't worry if you don't know exactly what you need. Just take a guess. We will process this and make sure you have everything you need for your event. So 116 is a rather large room. It has 2 screens. And I'm going to be giving a presentation with a podium and a mic. So I'm going to select a wired microphone. I'm going to select a podium. And I'm going to select a sound system. Now, your reservation won't look like this because there's some things we do with the sound system in 116 that doesn't require a full sound system. But what this tells me is that you need a podium and a mic, and you need to be heard. So that's great. Put that in here. You can even type in any special instructions as related to any of these 3 items or any of the items that you select. All of our meeting rooms in the University Center are equipped with flat screen TVs. So you no longer need to request a screen and projector for those spaces. We have the equipment to hook your laptop up to the flat screen TV and project what's on your laptop onto the TV. Okay, so the next section is AV notes. So this is if you're using any of the audiovisual equipment that you've selected above. And it's really great if you can be specific on what kind of event or what kind of audiovisual you're going to have. Is it a PowerPoint? Does it have any sound? Does it have any video or internet clips? Do you need a podium and a mic? Do you want a wired mic or do you want a wireless mic? Any information you can provide us would be great. Remember that you need to supply your own laptop for the spaces in the University Center and auxiliary space. And if you have a Mac, you need to be sure to bring your own Mac adapter. We have a few adapters, but we can't guarantee that they will fit your specific machine. The other thing we need to know in this space, in this AV notes section, is what time you would like your meet and greet. If you're using the AV in any of our spaces, our staff needs to come and help you get set up with our equipment. So whatever time you're going to show up with your laptop and be ready to get connected, that's the time you want to enter here. So our meeting starts at 10, so I'm going to say 9:45 a.m. If you don't need any audiovisual equipment or you don't have any audiovisual needs, you can just type in here, no AV needed. And that tells us that we don't have to follow up with you. You don't have any AV needs and you're good to go. It's just a meeting or a discussion. All of that information is here in this little question mark link reminder box. The next section is building entry requests. And this is if you want to schedule an event that's either outside of our regular building hours or it's within the building hours, but you need to get into the building early. The system will not allow you to schedule an event that starts before our buildings open. So if you need to schedule an event that starts at 6 a.m. because we don't regularly open until 7 a.m., then you need to contact our office to schedule the event. If your event starts at 8 a.m., but you want to be in the building at 6:30 a.m., this is where you'll type that request. And you'll say, I need to be in the building at 6:30 a.m. to do my setup or for whatever the case may be. So that's what this section is for. The next section is furniture. Again, the room we selected is in the University Center, and I chose lecture style for 15. I chose UC 116, which is on the first floor, so I'm going to need 15 chairs, and I need the first floor chairs. Okay, if you're having catering, you're going to want to select some buffet tables for your catering. So I'm going to have some catering at my event, so I'm going to select 2 buffet tables, and right here I'm going to type catering tables. That tells me that you need 2 tables that are the same height that catering can use to set your food or beverage on. Any other furniture you need is listed here, and you can select what you need. If you're doing banquet style, you want to select the rounds. If you're doing classroom or square setup, you're going to want to select the seminar tables. All of our square, U-shaped, classroom style setups are used with seminar tables, and we typically seat 3 people per table. So that should help you calculate how many tables and chairs you need for your setup. If you want to seat 2 people per table, you need to put that down here under setup notes, and I'll get there in a second. Again, there's a helpful link here. This also tells you how many buffet or how large our buffet tables are, how large our seminar tables are. Our round tables for the smaller meeting rooms seat 8 per table, and the round tables for the large event spaces seat 10 per table. If you're having a plated meal for your event, you will want to seat no more than 8 people per table maximum at the tables that seat 10, and you'll probably want to seat 7 or less at the tables that seat 8. The next section is on general notes, and this is any general information about your event that you think our office needs to know. Is this a special event with VIP attendees? Are you having a lot of off-campus people attend this event? Is the chancellor attending this event, or any of the upper administration? Any of that kind of information is helpful for us and can be typed in this section. If you don't have any information to share, don't feel like you need to fill anything in. You can submit without typing in any notes. The next section is meeting supplies. Again, we are in the University Center. That's the room we asked for. And so we can provide easels, flip charts. Every room has a whiteboard that hangs on the wall. We also have a portable whiteboard. And the whiteboard rail are the ones that are already hanging in the rooms. This section is called mobile equipment. This is if you're having an event that is outside our regular spaces, for example, in the library apps or West Lawn, any of those types of spaces. We have AV that can go outside of the University Center. We have furniture that can go outside of the University Center. And then we have some event equipment that can go outside of the University Center. As long as it's indoors, we can take our pipe and drape to certain locations, not every location. We also have green sandwich boards for directional signage for outside if you need directional signage for your event. And again, this helpful information is under the little question mark. This is the inventory of equipment that we have that can go outside for outdoor events. The last section down here is setup notes, and this is where you're going to tell us anything different about your setup. So back up to the furniture. If you want to seat 2 chairs per seminar table, you would let us know that down here in the setup notes section. Do you want it set up by a certain time, the day before or the day of? Do you have any other special requests about your setup that you need from us? You can type that all in here. Again, if you don't have any, don't feel like you need to type anything in. And this is just the helpful reminder. Okay, so once you've filled all of this out and you're as detailed as possible, you can go ahead and click Submit. And you'll get this page. In the future, there will be a nice message here that tells you what happens from here. But for right now, this just says thank you, and your event has been submitted. Then what happens is you'll get a reservation summary email that shows the space you requested and all the details that you entered. Then the Event Services Office gets that information into their scheduling software and processes that accordingly. Again, you may end up with a different room, but we'll schedule you a space that's appropriate for your event. If there are no auxiliary space available in the university center or the lodge or any of those spaces, we will look for an academic space for you. Academic space, it takes a little bit longer to process. We have to search and make sure that the classroom is available, but that's done through the same process. So if you're requesting an academic room and that room isn't available at the same time, then we will send you an email letting you know which classrooms are available at the time and date you requested. If for some reason we don't have any space available, we will follow up with you and look at a different date or look at adjusting your times so we can accommodate you the best that we can. If you need to make another reservation, you can always go back to the home screen by clicking this EMS, or you can just go to reservations and click room request. So that's the tutorial on how to use the system. It's very easy, but if you have questions, please contact our office. We look forward to processing your events through the system and hope to provide more efficient follow-up and service while using this system. Thank you for your time. We look forward to working with you on your event.